Okay, so here's a spreadsheet, and you can just take your data from your chart and just type it into this spreadsheet. You could have originally done that as well. It doesn't really matter. It's not that hard to just copy it all from the data table and put it in here. If you just do a mass copy, then you can just, it'll paste right in here. So, but the things you were checking out, they were, you were doing temperature and time, right?
Did he censor it? Yeah.
So temperature and time. You guys paying attention there? So whatever your starting temperature was, make sure you're paying attention.
Nobody has Excel.
They don't need to.
Sorry,
I'd rather them not. So actually, let me go to the other one here. Hold on.
You guys don't know because he wants you to graph this as part of the lab.
So yeah. So let me do this a different way here. I want to do sheets. I
He's
had
already
Excel.
watching it. I'm watching.
What?
He's recording it.
Okay, let me. I thought I had this open. I guess I do. Okay. Again, so you're just going to take your data on here, and sometimes when you use Excel, the data doesn't quite do what you want it to do, and you have to kind of rearrange it, or you have to know a little bit more about Excel. So Google Sheets is actually probably all right for this. It's kind of a basic graphing and spreadsheet. So the two things you were looking at, you were keeping track of the time, and you were watching the temperature. Okay, so we'll put those two things in, temp and time, and then you just start your starting temperature. Let's just say it was -1, and then your time, your starting time is 0, and then let's just put some times in. We'll go 0 or some temps, 0, 0, 2, 5, 12, 23. Okay, and then this time would be 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5, and 6. Okay, and then up here you want to put for your temperature, you want to put what you're doing. So maybe Fahrenheit is good, F. Okay, and then for time, you want to put minutes. You don't want to put any letters down in your data. So if you put -1F, it'll mess up your graph. You just want to have numbers right here, because the program will read it wrong if you don't. Okay, so, and I haven't used that much Sheets, but I'm not sure. It might be all right with Sheets, but Excel, it's definitely not. Okay, and then I like to always make a data table out of this. So if you just highlight this top here, you can use this little bucket, and you can put in like orange, and then you can like take these, and you can center these here. So this is a right. You can just use it just like a doc. You can bold these so they're a little bit. And then you can put lines around these, so it looks like a data table. I think that's it right here. Okay, so that looks like a data table, right? So then, but then you can just graph this. So you just highlight it when you're using Sheets, and then you just go to Insert, and you're going to choose Chart, and then it gives you the opportunity to pick what you want. Okay, now this one we want to scatter is what we really want. So let's see if we can. If you go over to Chart Type, you can choose like different types. Like I could use a line. Okay, that might actually be all right, but we're not going to use a line. We're going to look for a scatter here. We should have that somewhere. Yep, there's a scatter. Just the points, because if you don't do scatter, you're not really graphing what you want. So if we do a scatter, it's going to do each point x compared to y, or time and temperature, which is really what we want. Okay, so here you see like the temperature coming up and blah blah blah. So this is what your graph could look like, and then it kind of has a title: time, minutes versus temperature, and you could call it something else like phase change lab, and you really should do that. And it like labels it for you on the side. See this time in minutes. And then if you look at the bottom, I hope you guys are check this out. So then if you do this, you can see that it's temperature and Fahrenheit down the bottom. Okay. And then if you remember from the lab, you don't need this necessarily. You can get rid of this little legend over here. You don't need this. Let's see if we can get rid of it. Maybe not. Not sure how to get rid of it. Whatever. You guys can figure it out. How about delete? Oh, go back. Okay. So you can't figure out how to do that. That's just something. I don't use it all that much. Okay. So there's your graph. And then, so what I wanted you to do is put in some of those important points, like melting point. So you're going to print this out, and you're going to put melting point, freezing point. I want you to put all those words in there, as many as you can, where they would occur. Because freezing point is a specific temperature, and then melting point is a specific temperature. and boiling point, all that. There's specific places for water. And I want you to see, when you put those on, what is happening at the graph. Okay? So be aware of that. And then you just got to kind of look at your graph, and let me see what else we can do here really quick. But I think we can, let's see, publish. No, forget. Okay. So if you did Excel, you can make this your own sheet, and then you're just going to print this out. Not sure exactly. Publish. I don't know. I don't use this all that much, but it's not too bad to use. Maybe up here, publish chart, and then you do publish. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so figure that out. I'll check that out. But you should be able to print this. You know, maybe right click on it. I don't know. I don't use sheets all that much. Okay, so so you want to make this graph. You're going to want to print it out, and then you're going to want to put a line in it. So this doesn't have a line connecting the points. You want to put straight lines connecting all the points. So make your graph, put your data on it. You're going to have a lot more points than I have. It's going to make the graph a little bit better. And then I want you to put those terms in, like melting point, boiling point. Put as many as you can, saying where they are on the chart itself, or where they should be. Okay? Any questions on that? When you're done with that, you should turn it in. Also, so I'm going to pause. Any questions?